Hi, I'm Tess,
And I'm Barb.
and this is our review of the fishing aspect of Ocarina of Time. So bait those hooks, cast out a line, and sit back and enjoy. The version of the game we will be reviewing today is the 3DS version of the game, actually. The reason we didn't choose any of the Nintendo 64 versions is I personally believe the 3DS version is the best version of the game, even with the boot nerfs, as we'll call them. The footage here is from the beginning of the game before we get to fishing, so that'll be coming up soon enough. Don't worry, it'll be alright. Which should take you about 2 to 3 hours.
And that 2 to 3 hour mark, that, remember, we aren't speedrunners. There's probably speedrunners that can get to fishing in less than 15 minutes. Yeah, we are normal players here, and we're really bad at video games, and that's mostly why we review the fishing parts of video games. Although this may not be the first ever fishing minigame. Actually, I think that award goes to Nintendo itself again, and in the same series, actually. I think the first fishing minigame was in Link's Awakening.
With no facts at all, I think you're right, Barb.
Yeah, but I'm going to confidently say it was Link's Awakening, so Nintendo's kind of got the crown here for fishing minigames, and, might as well start on our first adventure here with Link in Ocarina of Time. Again, might not be the first fishing minigame, but it is probably the most recognizable and memorable ones. Like if you ask any person, what's a game that has fishing in it, like an older game, they're probably going to say Ocarina of Time.
Does the fishing call to you?
Oh, just the fishing in video games, not just the act of fishing, just fishing in video games? Yeah. Basically, fishing in video games is the peak distraction. Like, if you have a game with fishing in it, I'm going to want to go try the fishing out. Want to go, sit there for a while, find different spots to fish in. The more that fishing minigame kind of pulls me away from doing other stuff, the more I tend to enjoy a video game, actually. Basically, yeah, I feel better about the game in the long run after that. What about you, Tess? What do you like about fishing?
Well, I'm a little bit more of a cynical critic of video games. When one thing goes wrong, I usually freak out about it. But in this game in particular, and most games with a fishing minigame, the fishing minigame can actually make or break the game for me. Because when you need a break of a monotonous gameplay loop, sometimes when I'm playing a game and I think, maybe it's not for me, or maybe I already love the game, and you come across a really good fishing minigame, just something to do on the side, get out of the main quest, do what you want to do. Catch some fish, hang out, sit back, relax. Whether it's an MMO, it's an open world action RPG, the genre of the game doesn't matter, even if it's out of my scope. If I hear it's got a good fishing minigame, I'm headed right towards it. The Ocarina of Time doesn't have the deepest of fishing experiences. 2 types of fish, 2 lures. Doesn't get any more simple than that, besides 1 fish and 1 lure, I guess.
That's 2 times the content.
Getting to fishing as a child in this game is not a chore. It is some classic gameplay that most people already love and enjoy. Getting there as an adult, that's a different situation.
Pretty sure you need the hook shot and the iron boots to get into the water temple. Do you think that's worth it?
I think it's worth fishing as an adult. The fish are bigger, period. That's all that matters. Once you get to fishing, you're going to get to this really cool guy who's going to explain to you how to fish. If I sped it up too fast, L is to lock onto the fish. B is to cast your rod. You can wiggle your lure in the water with B. A is to reel in, and R and A is to really reel in. So right there is an example of the wiggle to being used on B. Now when you're reeling in the fish, you're going to want to be moving that joystick left and right. I did not use the R and A very much. I noticed I broke my line a lot more. So I decided to focus instead on using the joystick to my advantage.
So it sounds like it's more than just a press A to cast, press A to reel in the fish type of situation. A little bit more finesse when pulling the line around. So this isn't a basic fishing minigame, correct?
While the game does seem pretty basic, it is pretty fun, and you can improve. I'm not going to say that you're going to all of a sudden become like this crazy world adventure fisherman, but there is improvement from the beginning to the end. There are some mechanics that you have to learn yourself. I think it's worth spending a little time and figuring it out. I had a great time. While there is only 2 types of fish, the bass here that you see, and then the Helian loach, which is more of like a pike or muskellunge type of fish. 2 types of lures. There's the floating lure here, and there's also a sinking lure. The sinking lure is only unlocked when catching a fish over 10 pounds as a kid or 15 pounds as an adult. Now notice he's going to say, come back when you're older and maybe the fish will be bigger, and that is all too true. So we're going to start our journey to becoming an adult. So sit and enjoy some of these classic Nintendo cutscenes.
At least Nintendo cutscenes are viewable on like a second or third playthrough, unlike most other cutscenes. How long is it going to take here before we can get back to the fishing?
The game's about to take another 4 to 5 hours to get back to fishing due to the white water being low and having to do some temples, but at the same time, I absolutely still prefer fishing as an adult. I just like it better. I just like this game better as an adult. Notice this is the Master Quest version of the game, so everything is mirrored. I did not feel like completing this game again to get to fishing and spending hours, so I may have gotten a game save.
Some people actually prefer the Master Quest mode, but I've actually never completed a Master Quest playthrough. I usually play on the normal game, but maybe I'll give the Master Quest. Maybe I'll go back and experience this again.
The controls are the same when you're an adult in this game, and as you see here, this is the first big fish I caught while as an adult. This was a bit of a pain. If you notice, it's probably about 1:30 of actual fishing fighting.
That lad is putting up quite a fight.
I bet there's a solid 2 to 4 hours of fishing outside of the 6 to 8 hours it's going to take combined to get there as a child and get there as an adult. Now that you can see the character, you can see the left, right that I do. Just go and don't break the line, and it is effective.
Just a side note here, Ocarina of Time takes about maybe 30 hours to finish and 40 hours if you're going to 100% it.
Once you got that lunker, head towards that super cool guy and hand in that fish. Now make your way over to the waterfall over here in the back part of the pond. There could be a lure right here on those small rocks to the left you see, or right on that log in the middle. That's where you can get the sinking lure. The loach can only be caught when it's in a patch of lily pads. And for me, it's the one on the right side in the Master Quest or the left side in the regular version of the fishing. And if you get too close, it'll swim right to the middle of the pond. So here we go. We got a fight with the loach. Loach is not as hard as like a 19-pounder or so. The only real bummer about it is nothing with the sinking lure counts.
Yeah, well, I guess that's 100% completion. You catch both fish.
Yeah, objective complete. Both types of fish and both lures, I guess.
Now the loach there is the only way to get that fish with the sinking lure, or is there any other way?
Nah, you're correct. The only way to get the loach is the sinking lure. And really, fishing, if you're gonna 100% the game, you're gonna need to do it. So you might as well take care of it and get it done, even if you don't like fishing, I guess. Final thoughts on the game: solid 4 hooks out of 5. I'm gonna have to say, just based on it's Zelda.
I think I agree with you. 4 hooks out of 5.
While that might seem high for a game with 2 fish and 2 lures, the gameplay is really good and the controls are really good, and that kind of wraps it up here for our fishing review of Ocarina of Time. Enjoy some cinematics from 1997.